All right. So, past couple of days, we have been working on the advent of cyber over on Try Hack Me. So today, I wanted to change it up a little bit, and we are going to be working on LetsDefend's website. Um, so if you haven't already, you should really check them out. They've got a lot of great content. Um, so I have done a couple of these courses already, Network Fundamentals, Wireshark, and a few others. But since this is a new channel for me, um, I am going to do, let's see, I had my eye on something earlier. Right here, we're going to work on Linux for getting started in cybersecurity. So if you are looking for a position in the world of cybersecurity, Linux is definitely an operating system you want to be able to work with, and to kind of know how to navigate around inside of that. So we're going to go ahead and open this up, and let's read about this course. So SOC analysts encounter many technologies and systems due to the nature of their work, right? They should be familiar with these systems they encounter. One of these systems is Linux. The skills of a SOC analyst, Security Operations Center analyst, without Linux knowledge may be quite inadequate, as having some Linux knowledge is very important for the SOC analysts. So again, just re-emphasizing that Linux is definitely an OS that you want to be able to use. It says down here, if you're familiar with how it works, and the fundamentals of an operating system, it says we can quickly review and skip the stream. Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to go through this bit by bit, as a refresher for myself and for those who are new, to be able to understand how Linux works. So what is Linux? Linux is one of the kernel softwares, which is the most basic part of a computer operating system. It is a free software project released under the GNU General Public License version 2 and developed under the umbrella of the Linux Foundation. The name Linux was given by its first developer, Linus Torvalds, in 1991. So this has been around since the early 90s, beginning stages of the internet as well. And I'm sure some of you, weren't even born yet, but that's okay. You can still, learn how to use Linux, get to know it. Purpose of use of Linux. Linux can be used for many purposes due to its nature. Linux is free and it's open source. Free software means that it respects the freedom of users and the community. Open source means that users have the freedom to run, copy, distribute, review, modify, and improve a software. So free software is not a question of price, it's a matter of freedom. And there's many different flavors of Linux, as some people call it. You've got Parrot, you've got Ubuntu, you've got Kali Linux, you've got CSI Linux, you've got Red Hat, CentOS. There's lots of different types of Linux out there. So uses of Linux. Linux has the potential for being widely used, and the structure of Linux has the ability to work with processors with very high processing power as well as limited processing power. So one of the things I did when I first started experimenting with Linux, I'm actually going to move my camera out like its position. There we go. One of the first things that I put Linux on was an old laptop. I believe it had Windows XP installed on it. Only had maybe a gig of RAM, if that. Still had a one of the adapters where you'd have to plug in the network card on the side of it, so it didn't have a wireless card built into it. And at the point that I got that laptop, the hard drive was already so full that you couldn't add any more software to it. It barely functioned. So I wiped that drive, installed Linux on it, and all the computers that I've installed Linux on have ran faster than any other operating system that's been on it. The benefits of Linux. Linux is a user-friendly operating system that provides many benefits to its users. This training explains the importance of Linux from the cybersecurity perspective. So we're not talking about just using it at home or for making music, doing 3D graphics, anything of that. We're going to be speaking strictly on the cybersecurity perspective of it. Linux is famous for its command line. The power of the command line is an opportunity for cybersecurity professionals working in the cybersecurity industry because the use of Linux's command line can make things easier and provide flexibility in application practice in cybersecurity projects and operations. Common Linux distributions. So again, talk about the flavors of Linux. We've got Ubuntu, CentOS, Fedora, Debian, Red Hat Linux Enterprise, or Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Linux Mint, OpenSUSE, and Manjaro, or Manjaro. Not sure how they want that pronounced. All right. And it looks like I have already started working on this, but which Linux distribution ranked first with the most number of visits to the page on the distrowatch.com web address in 2009? If you just throw that into a search bar, it'll give you the answer. It's Ubuntu, right? The file system hierarchy. As in every operating system, Linux has a filing system as well. Everything on Linux operating system consists of files. And if you haven't had a chance, there's a YouTube channel called Network Chuck, and he goes into this as well, talking about everything on Linux is a file. So the / is your root directory, and the entire file hierarchy in Linux is within the root directory. It's expressed with the /, and each directory to be written to the right is under the root directory. For example, the /bin, so the / is basically saying root. The /bin directory means the directory named bin under the / directory. In other words, a parent directory of the bin directory is the /, the root directory, right? /bin, it's where binary files are stored. So where everything executes from. Boot directory, the files that are needed when you first boot your operating system up, or when you first boot your computer up. It loads the kernel, right? /dev directory contains the device files on the system that are recognized by Linux. Access to the disk on the system is made under this directory. So that's where basically the file structure for your hard drives is stored. /etc directory is the directory that contains the configuration files on the system. Home directory is the directory where users have various personal files, right? So when you download files, documents, pictures, videos, whatever, that's normally where that data would go. So that's of particular interest to a SOC analyst, would be that directory. The size of this directory may vary depending on the user's activity, right? By default, when a new user is created, a new directory belonging to the user is created in the home directory. However, because it is not mandatory, attackers do not usually create a new directory under the home directory for newly created users. /lib directory. Under the lib directory, there are library files used by the executable binaries, which are located in /bin, right? /media. That's where removable media goes, USB drives, CDs, if your computer still has a CD or DVD or Blu-ray, any of that. /mnt directory. It's where temporarily mounted file systems are located. If you're familiar with Mac OS, then that's something that Mac OS does as well. /op directory is the directory where the application software needed to be installed on the system additionally. Proc directory is the directory that contains the files that hold information about the current status of the running processes on the system. So that's where if you have programs open, if you have your web browser open, that's where you'll see that process. We already covered the root directory. /run directory is the directory that holds information about the running system since the last boot of the system. /sbin is the directory where the binaries of executable commands are located. Usually only the root users can run executable binaries under this directory. So root is basically the administrator version. If you're familiar with Windows systems, it's the administrator on a Linux system. /tmp directory is the directory where temporary files are stored. /usr directory is the directory containing executable binaries, libraries, and other files that all users of the system can access with read-only privileges. /var directory is known as the variable directory and contains system logs, files for tracking user activity, and cache files. So that's if you're working as a SOC analyst, that's where you would go for all your logs to be able to, expand on that data that's stored there. Basic terminal commands. What is the command line? So command line is an intermediary program that receives commands from the user via the keyboard and transfers the commands to the operating system for execution. In this training, Bash is used as the shell type and Debian is used as the Linux distribution. So we're Debian at Debian. Some people say Debian, but command line structure. First part is username at hostname, so the host system, and then it tells you what directory you are currently in, right? What is command? The what is command allows us to view a single line of brief information about commands running on the command line. For example, let's execute the what is command itself together with the what is command. Fair enough, simple enough, right? So what is what is? What is displays one-line manual page descriptions. Help commands. Help command is one of the information commands that gives a more detailed output than the what is command. For example, let's look at the output of the cd command. Help cd is change directory. And it tells you right here, changes the shell working directory. Change the current directory to directory. The default dir is the value of the home shell variable. The variable cd path defines the search path for the directory containing dir. Alternative directory names in cd path are separated by a colon. Alright. If the directory is not found in the shell option cd able _ vars is set, the word is assumed to be a variable name. We'll probably get into that at a later date. The man commands. Man command brings up the manual of whatever program You tell it. PWD is your primary working directory. And let's see. So we're going to see we are en route, right? Let's see. We've got bench.py, which is a Python file. Hello.c. All right. So let's see what else we can. Let's do. What did they use? They used manual what is, I guess. Manual what is. And I'm going to skip that. I'm actually going to bring up my home lab here. And we're going to create a new machine. And we're going to call it Ubuntu. And I'm going to grab that from here. We're going to skip unattended installation. Oh, it looks like I already had that machine in there, so let's do this instead. We're just going to open up my Kali Linux system. So we'll wait for that to boot up, and we'll go through a couple of these other explanations here. CD command is the command to switch between directories. Absolute path. Absolute path is a notation written to indicate all subdirectories from the root directory to the current directory. So if you already know exactly where you want to go, you can type out the whole path. Relative path is to write the part after the current directory instead of typing the full path of the directory to be traversed. So it's basically taking it step by step. Changing directory with current directory sign. The dot sign indicates the current directory. For example, let's say the directory we're in is home/debian/training. To change the directory with the dot sign, the command would be executed as follows. cd /LetsDefend. Here our current directory is in the absolute path is dot, and we did the same directory change operation with a shorter command. All right, let me log in. So I'm going to close that. So that's the manual for what is. And you can either scroll or you can use page up and down. And that tells you everything that you can do with that what is command. Let's look at some paths. So cd / and then if you kind of already know where you're trying to go, you can type the first couple of letters and you can hit tab and it'll start auto completing it for you. Right? So we're going to go to downloads. You got Microsoft Edge Stable, Microsoft.gpg, and Morehouse.openvpn. let's do this. We're going to change directory all the way back. And I'm going to say AMD64. Well, it's telling me there's no such file or directory, so let's close that. We're going to shut down this machine. Switching to the, where were we? Changing directory with the parent directory, .. sign. With the .. parent directory sign, we can switch to a parent directory of the current directory. So if we're in the LetsDefend directory and we want to go back up a folder, we go cd .. and that brings us back to training. Switching to the home directory with the home directory sign. So your tilde is going to be your home directory sign. And if you use dash, that takes you to your previous directory that you were in. ls command that lists directories and files. Here they used ls and changed, they looked at this directory without leaving their primary working directory. ls-a. So when you start adding the dashes to your commands, what that does is it basically is what's called a switch. So it changes the parameters of how that command operates. If you use -l, it provides detailed information. ls-al, it is possible to obtain the desired output by using more than one parameter while executing the ls command. So you can use multiple parameters within a switch. Touch command is the command to create a new empty file via the command line. So if you have an idea of a file that you want to create, but you're not sure what kind of file you want to create yet, you can use touch just to reserve that name for it. mkdir, that makes a directory, right? So here they had directory 1 within the SOC directory, and they're going to make directories directory 2 and directory 3. And once they've done that, they listed their files and directories again, and they had all 3 of them. Here what they did was they created a directory 5 within a directory 4 directory. So you can do full lines of directories, and it'll create all that using the make directory command. The move command is the command used to rename and move files, right? So here they have a slash, they're in the incident directory, and they have a file called old file, and they're gonna move old file into new file. And right here, this is moved file. And then they said list, they went into the incident directory, new file, they moved file to incident, Okay, so here they changed the name of the file from old file to new file. You can copy files and directories using the copy command. So this tells it they're copying the copy file to the sock directory from the incident directory. Okay, so it says here it's possible to copy nested directories with the cp command. The -r parameter should be used for this operation, right? For example, let's copy the directory for directory under the sock directory to the incident directory. I know this all seems like super boring stuff, but you know, sometimes it's good to get just back to the basics. Let's jump down to here. Cat command. The cat command is the command used for reading from the file. The path of the file to be read is given as a parameter. For example, let's read the file name message. So it said cat message, and within that file is the text, hello analyst. Echo command, it basically just prints out whatever you tell it to. So echo hello world, right? And let's see if there's anything in this machine. We got that bench py again. There's nothing there. Message file or directory, so there's nothing in the home folder. Let's do, yeah, they don't have much in there. When the echo command and redirection operators are used together, printing to the file can be done. So let's do that. We're going to say echo hello Linux, and we're going to output that to note. And as you see there, we now have a file called note. And we can read that note by saying cat note. There we go. And okay, so we can add more text to it by using double right arrows. Let's say echo what is this? We're going to say put that in note as well. So now still only have the one file called note. Cat note. Hello Linux, what is this? So yep, we did that. The more command. The more command is the command that allows reading the contents of long files. For example, let's read the file named wordlist.txt. And we say more wordlist.txt. And that basically, if you're familiar with DOS or you know, the command line and Windows, there is a command called dir /p, which basically would start listing your directories, but it would pause it, so it's similar to that. You can continue scrolling by line using enter, or if you hit spacebar, that brings up the next page. Pressing Q quits out of the more command. The WC command is a command that counts the number of lines, the number of words, and the number of characters in the file content. For example, let's see the total number of lines in the file. Okay, so the -L switch is used, I guess, for lines. I'm guessing -W is for words, but let's see. Seeing that we learned the total number of words in the file content by using, WC-W is words. All right. And it says right here, the reason why the total number of lines in the previous example and the total number of words in this example are the same is that there's one word per line in the file. Head command. Head command prints out the first it prints out the first 5, I think, by default. Let's see. So much information. Tail commands, that prints the last 5 lines. Grep, that searches within a file. So they put grep LetsDefend within the word list.txt file, and they came up with LetsDefend and LetsDefend.io. Sort command. So the sort command is the command to sort the contents of the file alphabetically. For example, let's have a file named list, like the one below, and you can see it's all out of order. So what they did is they said sort list, and that puts everything in alphabetical order. Unique command. The unique command is used to reduce successive name values to a single value in the file content. For example, let's execute the unique command on the list file. So as you saw before, we had analyst, 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 blue team, multiple instances of the same line of text or string of text, and that reduced it down to this, right? Date command gives you the date. Uptime tells you how long your computer's been up and running. History will give you a history of whatever you've typed into the command line. Find command is the command used in file searches. With the find command, you can find out whether the search file exists under a certain directory. For example, let's see if the file name message exists under the training directory. So first they tried to find something called attack, which it doesn't look like it brought anything up, and then they did message, and it brought up that does exist, right? File command. File command is the command that shows the file type. In Linux, file extensions are represented. In Linux, file extensions are represented. It is the header information of the file that determines the file type. So let's see. When the repeated words in the list below are removed, how many words remain in total? So let's do this. We're going to download that. We're going to save this. And I'm going to put that in my LetsDefend folder. I'm going to say new folder. And this is, I'm going to say Linux. I'm going to save that. Scanning for viruses, making sure LetsDefend isn't trying to attack me here. I'm sure they're not. So now, I'm going to scooch this over again. We are going to start up my Kali Linux machine again. Just waiting for it to boot up. really like their desktop backgrounds. I think they're pretty cool. Alright, so we are going to, we've got host to guest, so I am able to drag and drop things in here. So let's go back to where we saved that to. And it is a zipped file, so we're going to have to extract that. Alright, let's actually put that into our documents folder. And I'm not really a fan of tiles. I like my list view. Nice and compact. Alright. So let's experiment with something here. We're going to say find sort. Was it sort.list or sort.text? No, sort me, I think it was. Let me go back and look. Sort me. Let's do nothing there either. Oh, I've only got one. Alright, I'm going to open up another tab here. Okay, just had to... Oh, hey! Sorry, I didn't see you there. I don't even know if you're still in there, but... I figured it was you. I figured it was you. I'm sorry, I've just been paying so much attention to, doing the Let's Defend tasks that I haven't even looked over at the actual channel in a hot minute. And I also switched from using the Twitch Studio app to the Streamlabs, and apparently it does not bring up the Twitch chat within the Streamlabs desktop. So, glad you're here. Thanks for joining. As you can see, sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing, but all right, so we're talking about let's look at the sort, and what was the other one? We had a command that could tell us WC. So let's do, well, first let's do this. Let's say more sort me. We've got all these words, right? We hit enter, keeps going line by line. If we hit space, it goes by page. So we're going to hit Q to quit that. Then we're going to see dash words, and we're going to say sort me.text. There's 103 words. And let's say see, I thought it was supposed to reduce them down. What am I missing here? Tell me about it, Sabrina. Tell me about it. 5. All right. Now, when the repeated words in the file are removed, how many words remain in total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Now, what am I missing here, Sabrina? Help me out. Let's go back up. Sort list, maybe? Sort list. Oh, sort me.text. A. Then unique sort me.text. Right? No, that just messed it up again. All right, so got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 words. We figured it out together. Hey, would you look at that? What is the extension? File sort me.text. It's .txt, I guess, is what they're looking for. How about text? TXT. No, wait. Oh, it's a different download. That's why. Let's save as. And yeah, we are still in the Linux folder. So we're going to say save that. You helped me figure it out, Sabrina. You helped me figure it out. Alright, that should be downloaded. So let me go to that folder. I'm going to actually move some of this stuff to my other screen so y'all don't have to see me doing all the legwork. Nobody wants to see the legwork. No, I don't want to do it like that. I want to do, here's what I want to do. I'm going to move it right onto the desktop. Right? And I'm going to say CD desktop. And I'm going to look at LetsDefend. And we're going to move LetsDefend.png to /documents. Probably going to have to do it as sudo. Yep. So it's gone off the desktop. So where to go? Should be in documents now. Hold on. I think I know what's going on. Yes. So that's what it wanted. Alright. It did not get moved to documents. Where did it go? Where did it go? Slash documents. Well, I guess we'll just have to move it in there again. Let's minimize that. Okay, it's there. There it is. Let's defend.png. Move LetsDefend.png to /. Let's do what's the root directory / documents. So that's gone. There it is. PNG. All right. Let's move on to the next one. I thought I had gotten rid of that. All right. So we're going to save that file. Looks like that's done. Let me close that folder. Alright, so next one is the grep me. Feels like Alice in Wonderland, where it's like, eat me, drink me. Alright, so we're going to throw that on over. So now there's the grep me. We're going to move that to from desktop to documents as well, right? And what does it want us to do? Find how many D letters are in the file below with the Linux commands. So note, use grep wc. I think we gotta pipe it. Yes, commands with parameters with pipe. So grep me, grep d within grepme.text, and then we want to do a word count dash. Let's see if we do it without anything. So I guess we do letter, maybe? Dash L, no, because dash L is lines. WC dash L This is a dash L contains, so that's number of lines. Dash W is number of words. Dash M is total number of characters. Well then, let's see if we just do this, grep D and grepme.text. Oh. Let's see if they do, so when we piped it, pipe word count dash W. That doesn't seem right, but I'm going to try it anyways. No, let's look at the hint. All right. Command parameter character to search. Grep D. Wait a minute. Grep. Do we have parameters for grep? Pipe. File name grep. Well, let's look at the manual for grep. What I might do is just come back around to that at another time, because for me it looks like yeah, let's just do oh, I know why. Maybe. No. Okay. Let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What is the output of the following command? We're going to copy all of that. Learning Linux fundamentals. Learning Linux fundamentals. I don't know if it's case sensitive, but it is not. Thank you. Excellent. All right, next. Permissions management. That's where it's going to start getting a little more complicated. On Linux, each file has permissions. With these permissions, users are authorized to access related files. Let's open command line back up and just... So, all this stuff right here, these are the permissions of the files, right? You can also use ls-l. Gives us a little bit less data there. LA also shows hidden files. So here this breaks down the permission classes. So the file type is going to be the first letter permission classes. This is what permissions the user has, like the currently logged in user. If the user is a part of a group, the second set of 3 letters would be the group and other. So read, write, execute, RWX. This display is divided into 4 areas: file type, user permissions, group permissions, and other permissions. On the far left, the file type is expressed first. If it says D in this section, it means that it is a directory. If there is a dash sign, right, so right here, that means it's a file. The representation of the remaining 3 fields consists of the expression RWX and dash. Dash is empty, right? And the way that Linux does this is it corresponds to a number, right? So read, write, execute would be the number 7. If they can only read and execute, then it's a 5. See, let's say for the group, they can write and read, right? And the user can execute, but then other can do nothing else. So you would use a command. I don't know if it even is going to show it in here, but yeah, so here it tells you the different number combinations to make those changes. Yep, right here. So chmod, change mod, and that's what lets you change your permissions. So let's say for the directory of pictures, I want myself as the user to be able to, the user Callie, to read, write, and execute. We would say 7. But let's say I only want the group to be able to read it, 4. And then other, I don't want other to do anything, 0. And now we're going to do the pictures directory, right? So before we had directory, read, write, execute, read and execute, read and execute. Now let's look at it now. Pictures, it's still a directory. User can read, write, and execute. Group can only read, and other can't do anything else, right? Yep, so as seen in the image above, the file permissions are RW-R-R-R-. So the user has read and write privileges on this file, but not executable. Let's give the user execute permissions with the chmod or chmod command, and that's basically what we did in the example there. Ownership permissions. In Linux, each file has an owner as user and group. Ownership information can be viewed with the ls-l command. For example, ls-l, and we're talking about files now, so let's look at the ip.txt file. Right? So for them it's debian. This is root, so this file is owned by root. Let's say if I do touch test, I'm going to say ls, and right here we have the test file. We'll say ls-l, ls-l test, and right here Callie at Callie. So we can see the difference in the owners there. ip.txt is owned by root, right? And I as a user can read and write, but I can't execute. The group can read, and other can read. But here, same thing. So when you do, it looks like when you do the touch commands, your default permissions at the moment are read, write, read, read. Okay, and the output of the following file content, how many files have the numerical representation of the permission equal to 704? Let's find out. I'm going to save as. We're still in that Linux folder under the LetsDefend directory. I'm going to go up a folder, and we're going to extract from the permissions download. And copy that to the desktop. And we're going to move the permissions file to documents. And then we're going to take me there. Permissions.txt. So ls-l how many files of in the output of the following file content, how many files have the numerical representation of? Is that supposed to be a whole? Ah, it is. There's a lot of stuff in there. Alright. So we're going to say more permissions.txt. And what do we know from up here? So we know 7 is read, write, and execute. 0 is nothing. And read is 4, so that's what it wants us to do. We're looking for how many of these outputs file, and let's clean this up a bit. Let's see if we can at least do that. We want to say more permissions.txt, right? See if we can start using pipes, and then we're going to say sort maybe I need to do it the other way. Again, you know, I learn something new every day as well. Sort permissions.txt pipe. Actually, you know what? When we do the sort, no, okay. Just do it line by line then. All right. So 704, read, write, execute, nothing, and then, what'd I say? Read. So it should look like RWX, then a dash, and then an R. RWXR, RWXR. So there's 2 right there. Looks like there's only 2. Alright, some changes have been applied to the permissions of the files listed in the file contents above. One of the 2 files above shows the permissions of the file under the directory before the permission change command is applied, and the other shows the file permissions after the permission change command is applied. What is the command applied according to these 2 files? Complete the command that made this change. Only the missing parts should be entered in the answer. The sections with square brackets will be filled in the order according to the answer format. For example, WC-L. Okay. Let's see what they're talking about there. We're going to save as Q2. All right. Let's extract that guy. And extract. I'm going to minimize this. So we've got a before and an after. Okay. And I mean, alternatively, of course, I could open these up, you know, within a graphical user interface text editor, but since the focus is supposed to be on command line, that's what we're doing everything in. Let's take a look here. Okay. Well, let's do this. Okay. So we've got 5 files. Some changes have been applied to the permissions of the files. So the before was only read, write, read, and read. And now they have fully executable, right? So I'm going to say chmod 777. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Save this. All right. So let me get that file extracted and we'll get it moved over onto my Kali machine. This was Q3, so we're going to extract, and copy those on over. Okay. Nope. Okay. Why can't I open that? Oh, because I didn't tell it what kind of file it was. Good job. All right, and then after 3 dot text. All right. So it looks like we only changed one particular file, and that was, so that would be schmod, right? 744, and that was on file 6. Just a file permission change. What am I missing here? Let's see. No, I didn't think so. All right. We didn't change the owner. Chmod is command is used when changing file permissions. Yeah. Is it because I didn't do it as sudo? Maybe sudo chmod 744 file 6. No. All right. What are you thinking, Sabrina? I don't know if you're still with me or not, but what do you think I'm missing on this one? How do I... There we go. We're going to share this. Hey, my name is Bro. This is a course on LetsDefend. So this is under their Linux course. So if you go, I don't know if you have, I don't think it's a path. It's just one of their standalone courses. Yeah, so I think it's just one of their standalone courses rather than a full-on path. Also welcome. Yeah, basically, so their lessons look like this. It's more of, I think, just you know, text style stuff, less interaction. Their courses, I believe, are more of like, you know, interactive, hands-on type of experience, almost like a lab versus a lecture, if that makes sense. And I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not a part of their development team. Um, oh yeah, this so I'm working on I mean, it might have been on the same. I don't know how Let's Defend sets up their learning paths. I don't know if they necessarily have, you know, the lessons within, or sorry, I should say the courses within the paths. Well, let's go back to their site. So you think it was in their file permissions, I guess course? Is it? Well, here, let's use the power of the search bar. Well, let's see, maybe if it's in, okay, so this is a lesson within its, I see how they're doing it now, okay. Linux for Blue Team. Yeah, that's what I'm working on is the Linux for Blue Team. And it should tell me somewhere here. Yeah, right here. So it's considered a course, right? So we're gonna get back into here, and we're in the permissions management section. Potato, potato. The question I am on, it's the last question, right? So it says some changes have been applied to the permissions of the files listed in the file contents above. One of the two files above shows the permission of the files under the directory before the permissions change command is applied, right? So we've got our before file, before 3.txt, and we've got our after 3.txt. The only file that changed was file 6 when it went from a read-write execute, or sorry, read-write read-read to read-write execute read-read. So it went from a 644 to a 744. And I thought the command was chmod 744 file 6, right? But it's telling me it's wrong. So there's something I'm missing. And then I looked up and it said, I see. I see exactly what I missed. The sections with square brackets will be filled in order according to the answer format. For example, chmod u plus r file 6. U plus x file 6. Nice. That's what's up. Appreciate it. Since we're talking about, okay. Gotcha. All right. Let's move on to the next one. User management and groups. Actually, let's see, what time is it? Only 11:20. All right, users and groups. In order to be able to perform any operation on Linux, it is absolutely necessary to have a user. That's why Linux users are very important. I feel like my camera's a little fuzzy. That's okay though. The root user should be very careful while running commands on the system, because if the root user... Alright, bananas. I'll catch you when you get back. For example, the worst case scenario would be to delete all files under the root directory. If the command to delete all files under the root directory is executed with root user privileges, unfortunately the entire system will be deleted and the command will run successfully as the command is run in root user privileges. So over here on my practice machine, I'm going to say, who am I? I am Callie. Okay, well, what if I want to be root? I'm going to sudo su, enter my password. Now I am root, right? So I'm going to say, who am I? I am root. I am root. Not I am Groot, but I am root. Alright, let's see what's in here. We've got, let's go all the way back to the root directory as root user. Alright, and let's see. Let's go to change directory to USR. What do we got in there? We can see what's in there. Let's do let's see. We're root at Callie. Let's go to SU. Who is? Sometimes it's just fun to type in random stuff. Let's switch back to who is this? This account is not currently available. I wonder if that's an Easter egg. I doubt it. All right. Although it's kind of funny because Kingfisher, like phishing emails, kind of makes me a little sus. Anyways, let's see who we are over on this shell. Who am I? I am root. The concept of UID, user ID, versus group ID, right? So ID-U 1000. So in Linux-based operating systems, the root user has a UID of 0 by default. On Windows, the administrator is 500, right? Users newly added to the operating system usually start from the 1000 UID value and increase with the increment of 1. Generally, service users have a UID value between 1 and 999. Well, ID. See? Tells us all that information down in here. Okay. etc/shadow file. cd etc shadow. I might have to do this as sudo. We'll see. Cat etc /shadow. Permission denied. If we do it as root, it tells tells us all the things. Right? As seen in the image above, the owner of the shadow file is the root user. Okay. I'm going to clear this. One of the methods is to apply the sudo command, which allows to act as the root user. So if you don't have... Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not an absolute beginner, but I'm not an expert either. So, but yes, what Benin is saying is if you are a beginner in Linux, always good to take notes. I actually have all my notes from when I went through my A+ course, my Network Plus, my Security Plus. Yeah, always try and take notes. And there's a young lady, Nicole. She's got a YouTube channel out there. But Nicole, what she does is she talks about, instead of just poring over the material, and I think it's Inesi. I think that's her. Let's see. Yeah, Nicole Inesi Cybersecurity, right? So she's got a really good YouTube channel. I'm going to drop that in the chat. But she talks about, making sure that instead of just, writing down everything, if you bring up a new topic, say, for instance, you're not sure. Let's go back to the lesson we were on previously with regards to file permissions. So instead of just writing down file permissions, ls-l command is used to see the permissions of the files. You could rather say, what is the ls-l command used for, right? ls-l command used for. And you can, make flashcards out of it, kind of thing. Oh yeah, I mean, it's such a broad spectrum. Like, I don't expect to remember everything, but I want to at least have the basics down. Oh, I've got plenty of bookmarks. Plenty of bookmarks. Let me just show you an example. Let's see. So, in my favorites, I have a whole folder dedicated to cybersecurity, right? I've got certifications you can get. I've got my Code Red that I'm subscribed to, CompTIA, or cyber threat maps. The more you do. Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see, what else? You got frameworks, so the Center for Internet Security, the Cyber Kill Chain, Hack the Box Academy. I've got bookmarked. Different news sites. The past few courses I've taken, I just keep putting together new folders and adding to the mix. I haven't categorized these yet. but I'll get around to that at some point. Getting those all sorted out. So let me get back into the game here and close out that tab. So we're talking about the etc/password file, and I'm going to bring this over here again. Okay. And we looked at the password file on MATLAB as well. So as seen in the image above, the file content of etc/password could be read successfully with the privileges of the Debian user. In my case, it was the root user. I'm sorry, it was the Kali user running as root. The etc/password file contains the following information respectively. So it contains the username, it contains the user's password, but it's not really stored in that file. It's usually stored in the etc/shadow file, not in the /password file. You can see many different symbols that are in this field. If you see an X, that means the password is stored in the etc/shadow file. An asterisk means the user doesn't have login access, and if there's a blank field, that means the user doesn't have a password, which is bad. The user ID, as you can see, the root has the UID of 0. The group ID is next, right? Up here, root 0, 0, right? The geckos field, this is used to generally leave comments about the user or account, such as their real name or phone number. It is comma delimited. Then the user's home directory and the user's shell. To create a new user, we use user add, right? But Kali is not root, so we're going to have to sudo user add. And if you don't mind, we're going to use the user bananas. So we're going to add the user bananas, right? And haha, right? Okay, we're not going to give bananas a password quite yet. We're going to add the NIST fairy. I don't even know if she's still watching, but we're going to add the NIST fairy as well. So we're going to say user add NIST fairy. Okay. So now, who am I? I am Kali. Switch users. Bananas doesn't have a password. No. Maybe it's going to force me to give bananas a password. This is how I know I messed up. Can I clear? No. Can't control C. Can't control Z. Can I exit? Yes, I can. See, I know a little bit. A little bit. Well, let's do sudo password bananas. New password banana. Banana. Switch user bananas. Banana. Permission denied. Oh, I keep forgetting I'm in the bash enter, quit, quit. Oh, exit. There we go. All right. Practice. So, interesting take on this. I was up in Northern Virginia at a rehab facility because I used to have a really bad problem with using narcotics. I don't any longer, thankfully. And a part of that, of course, is having this passion, this hobby of, wanting to protect other people with regards to malicious actors. Oh yeah, for sure. But one of the counselors up there, he said, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanence. So, because his philosophy was that perfection can never be achieved, really. You just can continue to build on. You can be highly skilled, but we're humans and nobody is perfect. So, and like you yourself said, Bananas, like there's so much that you're never ever going to remember everything. And at some point you'll probably have forgotten more than what some people can learn. So let's look at where were we? User switch and command line. We did that. Although, let's see if we can switch to NIST Fairy. NIST Fairy doesn't have a password. Authentication failure. Excuse me. All right, how far? Now let's go. What is the username of the user with the UID of 1001? Let's find out. I'm going to clear this out. Save as. All right, Bananas, I'll catch you later. Enjoy your meal. Refresh. All right, so I'm going to minimize that. We're going to bring the Linux file on over. And again, since we are working with command line, that's kind of what we want to focus on. Let's move the Linux file to documents, right? We're going to say cat Linux file grep 1001 Linux file. What is the username of the user with the, so that is LetsDefend, right? What is the name of the file containing the groups? Oh, what is the name of the file containing the groups on Linux? Is it the slash that's good news. Sorry, give me 1 second, y'all. Just got some good news from my dad. So let's go all the way back up, and it says it wants the name of the file containing the groups. So it's either, oh, I'm silly. Nope. Well, let's look at the hint. Hint, the file is located in the /etc directory. Okay, so let's do this then. Sudo su, and I'm put in my password, and I'll say cd etc ls grep groups, group. No. More group. Okay. So the full path is /etc/group. Okay. Next one. Let's save this. And here in about 15 minutes, I'm going to take a quick break so I can get my dog out for a little bit. Which one was this? This was... That was another Linux file, was it? I don't think so. It was the group.zip. Ah, there it is. So let's extract that. And move that onto the desktop. And what does it want to know? How many users are in the sudo group? Oh. No. There we go. Excuse me. Let's get the hint on that. Find sudo. Okay. right there. 3. All right. Archive file formats. So let's clear out this screen. Okay, so it's possible to compress and archive files individually or along with many other files on Linux. It is important what the archive file types are and how the compression processes are performed for software that is usually downloaded and installed over the internet. gzip is one of the tools to save storage space by compressing files. For example, let's compress the wordlist.txt with gzip. So right here it was 26,918 bytes and they compressed it to 12,973, right? To decompress, to compress it, gzip. To decompress, gunzip or gunzip, however you want to call it. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Got the sleepies. Alright, creating archives with tar. The tar command allows multiple files to be archived as a single file. So taking a bunch of files and putting it into one compact file. When the tar command is used alone, it doesn't compress. It just makes a single archive file. For example, let's turn the wordlist.txt and wordlist2.txt files into a single archive file with the tar command. So they did tar cvf tarfile.tar. Not quite sure what the cvf was for, but it'll probably talk about that in a minute. That compresses it, and then xvf decompresses it, right? Files that have been archived with the tar command can also be opened using the tar command. For example, let's open the tarfile.tar that we created in the example above. So this, again, the cvf is what created the tar file, and then the xvf pretty much decompressed it. Zip files, let's turn word list into a zip. So zip file.zip, and then you tell it word list 1 and 2, right? Let's see. Let's see if we can switch user to Debian. What about blue team? Does not exist. Fine, we'll do it on my own machine. Let's take zip, and we're going to say before dot zip is going to be the name of the file, and we're going to take before 2 and before 3, and we're going to zip those up. And now before star.txt. There we go. So if you have multiple instances of a file that all starts with the same word, and you've already zipped those up, instead of writing them out, you can say before, like, or you know, the either the string, and then if it's a number at the end, you put the asterisk to indicate every single number. Or let's say you have a bunch of different files that all end in 1, but you want all files that end in the number 1 deleted, you would put star or asterisk 1 to delete all of those. Unzip files. So unzip before.zip. RAR files. They're all just different ways of compressing and decompressing. With which command can files with zip extension be opened on Linux command line? Unzip. With which command can files with .rar extension be opened? Unrar. Alright, simple enough. Also good to know. So let's do one more. We're going to zip after.zip, or let's do a rar. Rar. So to rar, we're going to say rar. The A parameter specifies that the archive will be added, and this way the rar file is created. Rar A after dot rar. After dot rar, and we're going to say after asterisk dot txt. So that should take every file that has the word after and then a number at the end and add it to the rar. Oh, apparently I don't have rar. Well, we're about to have rar. Let's try that again. So now we're going to say remove after star. So all we're left with, let's do find after. ls after dot bar. Where'd it go? Did it disappear on me? I hope not. That's okay. You live, you learn. Next, process management. I think we're about done, but okay. List running processes, PS. Right? They shouldn't really have too much there either. We have seen the processes running with the PS command in the first column. So PS aux shows all processes. Detailed process information can be obtained. So this gives us very detailed process information. Gives us the user, if it's roots, all that good stuff. There are many columns. The first column contains the user who owns the process, right? The second column contains the process ID value, the PID value. The last column contains the name of the command/program that was run. All right. In order to better understand the subject, let's examine the most recently run processes through the image below. Processes are functioning units that show instantaneous changes. These instantaneous changes cannot be observed in the process output of the PS command. The only information received is about the processes at the time the command is applied. There is a way to monitor processes interactively with the top command. Top. Okay. Killing processes. In some cases, it may be necessary to intervene in processes. For example, the program being worked on may consume CPU and memory, causing process congestion. In such cases, it may be necessary to terminate the process manually. The kill command is used to end the process. For example, let's kill a process with the kill command. Let's choose a process and see what they do. So, as seen in the image above, a calculator process called GNOME calculator is running. The PID number of this process is seen as 43215. Right? So in our case, let's look at I don't want to kill anything root. Let's do what should we do? Let's kill the whole computer. Why not? That was the VBox client is PID 1023. I don't think that really did anything. Maybe it did, because I don't see it anymore. Alright. What is the command that should be used to view the process with the process ID value of 36726? So, parameter containing must be entered. Parameter containing dash dash must be entered as a parameter. Only the missing part should be entered. For example, ls dash. Wait a second. View the process. Probably wants command ps let's take a look at a hint. That's the command that should be used to view the process. That's a great question. What is the command that should be used to view the process with the process ID value of 36726? Command parameter. Oh, we're not trying to kill a process. We're trying to list running processes, but specifically let's see. All right, it is 12 o'clock. I'm going to take about maybe 10-15 minute break. Um, but I will be back. So let me see if I can. Well, I know I could do it on my uh, Twitch studio, but I don't see it here on Streamlabs. Oh, you know what? I think I know. So we're going to call this. And let me watch my stream to see if it's doing what I think it's doing. All right. So I am back, and my cat has entered the room. Hey. Hey, kitties. Come on. Yeah, come on. Yeah. There she is. There she is. This is my cat. Her name is Pie Crust. She's a rescue. And of course she wants to play on the keyboard. I've been trying to get her to learn that it's okay to sit on a lap. So she's gonna check everything out now on the desk, of course. Anywho's, where were we? We were doing running processes. Yes, hello. You see the blue light? You see that? You can come sit on my lap, and you can lay on the table. Either way is fine with me. Alright, she's gone. She wasn't too interested in that. Alright. So, what is the command that should be used to view the process with the process ID value of 36726? Command. PS. So I'm guessing we need to tell it some sort of process ID. So let's say main PS and PS selects all processes with the same, okay, but selects it with the same effective user ID as the current user and associated with the same terminal as the invoker. Okay, what if we want, here we go, using standard to see every process running as root. Okay, let's try PS -Q 36726. Okay. Q 36726 -O. No. Okay. Then what's it asking here? saved it yet. Let's see here. So our hint is that the answer format is command parameter. So I guess it doesn't need the 36726 dash for specific process ID. It was dash P. Okay. User list, user, scheduler information, show the true command name. All right, apparently there's just something I am not understanding about this question. So we're going to search the web. Let's see the original poster. No. See, that's I was close. I had dash P, dash PID, tried all that. None of that was working. Okay, so I'm going to grab that file that I just downloaded. And that was process 2. We're going to extract. Yep. I'm going to put that on the desktop. Did it not go through all the way? Apparently not. Try it again. So process 2, we're going to extract it. Okay. Which command does the following file content, which is in the output of the what is command with the definition of, okay, what is, let's Q, and say what is oh. Wait a minute. Hi, sweetness. What you doing, pups? Okay. The command is with no parameter. Display it. Was it top? No. is with no parameter. Which command is the following file content, which is in the output of the what is command with the definition of display a tree of processes belong to? That was the correct file, right? Yeah, just wanted to make sure. Wait a second. When I unzipped that, did it say processes too? Let's see. Process 2. We extracted. Extract. Replace. Okay, so it does unzip it as processes 2. Well, I cannot seem to find what they're looking for there. So I'm going to phone a friend again. Because obviously I'm missing something. Maybe let's try that. Let's try what is Alka control? Nothing appropriate. Well, I think we had that up here somewhere. 43215. No. Okay. You know what? I guess we'll download that too. Save as, process 3. This is really. So this person is a bot. Okay, where was I? Doing processes 3. So let me go into my Let's Defend folder. Linux, process 3. I'm going to extract all of that. Let's do this. We're going to drop that onto our desktop. Come on. There we go. Ah. $84.09. Which is okay. Let's do more processes 2.text. Aha. Okay. Let's try that. Dash dash man path equals okay, so maybe it's Was that even in there? Son of a gun. Oh, now for the really fun stuff. Although I'm probably gonna stop a little bit early. I know I said 1 o'clock, but my brain needs a break. So let me shut down my machine. Let's go back to the Let's Defend main page. My daily goal was 10 points. I reached 125. I'm at 29% on training. So, getting there. Getting there. We can do some practice. We can do some learning. Let's see how far along I am. So we're getting there. We've got, I think we're on network management. So we've got package management, service management, and scheduled tasks left for Linux for Blue Team. So, all right, y'all. I'll probably be back later this evening and catch y'all then.